Hey everybody, it is Pat with a very just specific reading that I wanted to share with you. And it's specific in the sense that I was asking specifically about the Trump presidency and what was going to take him down and out. As many of you know, if you watched some of my posting on Facebook and some of the things maybe I've even put here on YouTube is I felt like he's just not going to be in office or part of the next election. And I think in one of the things I shared that my guide had told me, I felt like he was going to be out of the office by the end of the year. Now, obviously, we're at the end of the year and that hasn't happened. But, you know, sometimes when you get stuff from Spirit, timing isn't always accurate. So, but I have felt and sensed that he's not, something's going to end, or there's going to be a huge loss there. Something's going to bring his presidency to an end. Because like when I hear people talking about, oh, who's going to be the best person to beat Trump for the next election, I'm kind of like, we won't need someone who can possibly beat him for the next election. He won't even be in the next election. So I was really curious, and I'm not the only one who's gotten that about him. And so I was really curious about it and had wanted to pull some cards as to what is it exactly that would bring it to an end. What is it exactly that would dissolve his presidency? And I also haven't felt that if he's left the presidency that Mike Pence isn't going to be there. He's not going to be stepping in to take his place. The whole thing, like the whole administration, is going to dissolve. So I pulled from this deck the Akashic Tarot because it's really interesting the way like the picture and sometimes the word are just a complete reflection of exactly like what it is. So I just wanted to share this with those of you who might be interested in it. I know not all of you are. If you're a Trump supporter or a Trump fan, you're probably not going to like this video or may not want to hear it. So and that's fine. Not everybody's going to be on board with this. So anyways, so when I was shuffling the deck, I was asking really curiously, what is it exactly that brings him down or that takes down his presidency or that brings it to a conclusion or dissolves it? So, and these are some of the cards that I got. There were 6 of them. The first one was the Architect. Okay. And when I looked at this card, I mean, there's a man in there who's pointing to like a building that hasn't been built yet. And there's various activities going on in the background. And so what I got about that was that, yeah, he is the architect. He tries to promote it as making America great again. But what he's actually trying to be the architect of is changing the whole like nature of power in the United States, I think. Instead of being a democracy that's based on the three bodies of government, it's like he's trying to turn it into a monarchy where he can be the king. And even in this picture, there's one, that statuesque figure overlooking the whole thing. And so there's something that's being built behind the scenes, something that's, not in the eye of the general public that he's been trying to do behind the scenes. So, and he's the architect of it. He's the one who's trying to build it. Of course, we also know he's trying to build the wall. He's trying to get that wall built along the border of Mexico. So the next card that came out was obstruction. Okay. And that has already been very clearly known. That's one of the articles of impeachment that he got impeached for in the House was obstructing of justice. For quite some time now, through various means, the firing of all sorts of people, and he's been getting in the way of either anybody who, told him he couldn't do something, or was getting in the way of, or was part of investigations, okay, into areas that he's had his fingers in illegal ways. So that's going to be one of the major things but these two are kind of already known. They already suspect, and the obstruction of justice is kind of already known. But what I got next was this one, what they call the Five of Scrolls, and it says diversity, but I'm not so much concerned with the word here as I am the image, because the scrolls in this this suit in this deck is about the scrolls are about communications, you know, written testimonies, histories, emails, communications of various kinds, you know, depositions, things like that. It's about those types of things. And what you have in this picture is a woman who's about to read a scroll. And there's 4 other scrolls here on the table next to her that have already been read. So there's something else that is coming to light. And it's very likely that it's going to be brought forward by a woman. And she's presenting it, almost like reading it, to this whole vista here, like as though she's reading it to the public. So there's something else that's going to come to light that, you know, hasn't yet been known. Okay, something new that is coming forward. There's a scroll that hasn't been read yet. So, and that's going to be part of what dissolves things. The next card that come out, again in the scrolls, okay, so it has to do with communications, verification documents, things like that, is this intricacies in industry. And there's a gentleman in it who is like a worker. He's kind of like a mason building a wall. But the whole thing kind of looks like an archway or a gateway of some kind. So, but I think the key word there is industry, is that we're going to find that he's had his hands in many different areas. And there's a whole, to create funnels or gateways or passageways, what that looks like to me, for money, okay, that he's personally benefiting from. And there's a lot of intricacies to it, but it has to do with industries, as in big industries, gas, oil, coal, real estate, things of that nature, okay? And I feel like it's very widespread. When we find out about this, I think a lot of us are going to be really shocked. And the last card that came out was this, Paths Unknown. And, you know, this is likely to be an outcome where, it's funny that it's a blonde-haired woman, so it could represent Ivanka, but she's standing there with her back turned and looking at the pathways in front of her. So it may be that that's the ultimate outcome, that they end up having to leave onto pathways unknown, or they may leave to pathways unknown where we won't know where they've gone. Because they'll need to be out of here, because otherwise they'll end up indicted or arrested or something like that. So I don't have a sense of a time frame. I just know that I haven't felt or sensed that he would be part of the next election. And so I was just curious as to what it was. I was like, what is it that finally does it? What is it that dissolves the whole thing? And ultimately, it probably just will all come down to being about money. But the extent of it and the way he's been involved with other people to, you know, orchestrate a different kind of power that's controlling things is what does it. So anyways, for whoever may be interested in that, I share this with you. And if you're not interested, that's okay too. You don't have to believe it or take it. Take what you like and leave the rest. So anyways, thank you so much. I will talk with you again soon. Take care, everyone.